Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the charge port on this Lenovo. So the charge port DC jack, this is the model number is hard to read here because you have to hold it at a certain angle. It's a Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5-1570. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. I believe it's using a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove all the screws. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 3 towards the hinge, 3 towards the middle, and then 4 towards the front. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove all those screws. Alright, I'm pretty sure I have videos opening this up to work on and show other components. So this specific video, I'm just going to focus on the charge port. If you need to see other components, just let me know, or hopefully you can find my other video showing the other things. Alright, let's go ahead and get all of these out. And we should be good to go. Okay. Right, last one here. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and see about popping off the bottom cover. Usually the way I do that, let's see, it varies from model to model. Oh, this one has some loose stuff in it, so it's actually popping itself apart. I think their hinge might be broken or having some problems. Anyways, I'm going to get my fingernails in the gap here, and then I'll push with my thumb on the palm rest. You can see how it's already popping up. Alright, don't push on the touchpad, just the palm rest area, okay? There's actually also a dent here, so maybe I think they dropped it or something at some point. Yeah, it's trying to like lift itself up. Alright, now that we got that, I'm gonna lift and then get my fingernail and just slide it along the side and see if we can pop the clips. It doesn't seem to want to come out. You can see there's a bend on the cover here. Jeez, what'd they do to this thing? Okay, so we'll get under there and pop the clips. There we go. We'll go to the other side. Pop some more clips here. Okay, just like that. And then let's see if we can lift it now that we got both sides. Oh, it clipped back down or something here. There we go. Nope. It looks like it still holds, so we might have to actually pop the clips directly from back here as well. So let's see, can we get in this little groove? Wow, this one is tough. I don't know. Okay, let's try and hold this open. And then wiggle and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Okay, and there we go. Alright. And get that. So they have lots of broken plastic pieces falling out here. I heard some rattling in there, and I'm assuming that's, oh yeah. God, there's a lot of, oh my goodness. I still hear some rattling, but maybe that's loose screws. I don't know. This thing's also kind of loose here. Okay, so we gotta toss these broken pieces away. See that? Okay, so the charge port is right there. Let's go ahead and see about opening this and taking a look. Oh, seriously? So the way they designed this, wow, okay, that's what happened. You see this? The charge port, this piece is completely broken off and fallen in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first disconnect the charge port here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna plug in the replacement charge port and we're gonna test it to make sure it's working. I see why it breaks. You see this design? The cable is so long, so they're basically just bending this all over the place to get it to go in. But anyways, yeah, that's a bad design, whoever designed this laptop. We're going to go ahead and plug it in just to make sure that works, because otherwise, if there's other issues, there's going to be no point fixing this. So I do see the light blinking now, or it was. There you go. You can see that orange light flashing. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. So that hopefully means the battery's charging and not that it's having issues charging. But we're gonna slowly, carefully open up the laptop. Oh, we gotta be very careful with this. I think the hinge screws are probably all broken. I'm gonna hold the screen down with my stomach and then hold the hinges like this to pull it open. Wow, these hinges are really tough to open. Okay, now let's see if we can power up this thing. So it's still blinking. We'll push the power button here, and I do see the keyboard lighting up, so I think we should be good. Yep. Okay, so what we need to do is take the entire motherboard out so that we can get the charge port in there, because the charge port is underneath the whatchamacall. I'm going to shut this down real quick first. The charge port's underneath the hinge. This is a very bad design. I hate this. I don't know why people design computers like this, purposely making it difficult. But yeah, all right. So I want to make sure these screws, okay, these are loose, so that's bad. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and disconnect the charger. And then we're going to disconnect this as well. Go from the wings and then wiggle to pull that out. I probably should have got a thumbnail here. I don't know if I did, but we'll do a thumbnail here. Again, I'm just going to quickly pull the whole motherboard out. I did another video showing like the battery and all that stuff. So if you want to see all of that, watch one of those videos. But I'm just going to quickly go ahead and pull this whole thing out. And then, yeah, so I'm not going to really talk too much about what's going on, but we're just going to pull this, wiggle this battery connector out. Come here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. And I'll just quickly show the battery model number right there. All right, if you need it. But again, I do have a video showing more in detail than talking about it. I'm going to hold the power button just to drain any residual power here. Let me actually open this up, because sometimes holding the power button doesn't do anything unless the computer is actually open. We're going to drain the power so that it's safer to work on. This is scary. I can see how the hinge is not opening like evenly, so definitely it's having some problem with the opening mechanism, the hinge mechanism. So we're going to fold this back down. Oh geez, yeah, whatever's going on with this hinge, it's not good. Hopefully it's just some loose screws under there, and then hopefully we can tighten it back up. All right, I'm gonna see, we're gonna pop the LCD LVDS connector off, and I'm gonna see if we can just lift this up without having to take everything completely out. All right, fan screws here. The fan connector is super tiny. It's right here. We're gonna have to grab and just wiggle it as we pull. And here's the fan. If you're wondering how the fan connector goes, you can see the little metal pins here, and then you can see the metal pins on here as well. But you can see this side with the slits go towards the inside or the RAM, and then the side with just like these little holes for the pins go towards the fan itself. All right, we'll set that aside. Let's go ahead and lift this latch, and then we can pull this connector out. We got all these little connectors we're gonna have to disconnect. I don't think I took them out on the other one. So here's the fingerprint reader, flip that latch, pull that out. Here is the touchpad, flip that latch, pull that out. Keyboard backlight connector, flip that latch, pull that out. And then keyboard connector here, flip that latch and pull that out. Speaker connector here, wiggle to pull that out. Okay. I don't know if we need to take the SSD off the board to take the board out, but we do need to take this little caddy out because it's in the way. So we'll take those 3 screws out. There's no hard drive in here, but you can put a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive or SSD in there. Okay, so get those 3 screws out, and then hopefully we can slide that. Yep, and pull that. Oh, there's a metal bracket in there which holds the screws in place. That comes out. Okay, and let's go ahead now and remove all the screws here. We do have the wireless antennas that we should probably remove. Oh, even just pulling up this adhesive pulled the antenna out. Normally you go from the tail and then pull that out that way. Okay, so black wire goes to the black arrow, white wire goes to the white arrow. All right, let's go ahead now and remove these. If you want to see the RAM, again, I do have another video showing that somewhere, I'm pretty sure. All right, there's a screw down here. They actually have an arrow pointing to the screw. There's another screw over here with also another arrow pointing to that screw. And then we got this screw here with another arrow pointing to it. And I think that's all of them. Are they hiding anything? It feels kind of stuck. Looks like there's a little clip here, which if we lift from this side, it should come out. So make sure to get these wires out of the way. Carefully lift up. Shoot. Okay, so this is kind of protruding a little bit out there, so you got to pull up here slightly as well. Again, make sure these cables get out of the way. Slowly, carefully lift, and there we go. There's the motherboard, logic board, whatever you want to call this. We're going to set that aside. Clean a little of that dust out. Okay, now we have access to the hinge here, and these screws are loose, but it seems like they're okay. So we'll get those screws out. It might be the issue is not so much the loose screws, but more the hinge design is in this like really weak plastic. Okay, so we're gonna have to carefully open this up. Let me zoom out a bit. We're gonna have to lift up on both sides here, which is gonna be a little tricky. Okay. Oh, more broken plastic. Okay, so I'm gonna stick my fingers in between the screen and the keyboard, and I'm gonna lift this to open it. Okay. Jeez. Is this model supposed to open 360? I think so. Okay, so now that we got this open to about 90 degrees, you can see we can lower this down slightly. And then when we lower that down, we should be able to wiggle this and pull this out. I don't know, it's stuck in there real good. I'm gonna have to use some tweezers, I guess, or pliers. So let's see if I can somehow grab this out, because it's stuck in there. Come on. Jeez. No wonder why it's broken. It holds in so tight, but it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna get from underneath here. It looks like it's coming up a tiny bit. And I'll show you the broken portion. Oh yeah, that's working. Okay. So I gotta be careful because I don't want to yank the wireless antennas out or break the other side, the hinges. Okay, there we go. And here you can see, we'll show you that in a bit. Let's go ahead and get the new charge port in. I don't know if there's a specific right side up, but I'll try and put it the same way. I'm assuming, yeah, I don't think there's really a right side up or upside down, but we are going to have to twist the wire all over the place to get it back in. All right, so we'll just slot this back over here, push that back down into place. Okay, and now we have the wire back out here. Okay, make sure you don't smash the wireless antenna. And then now let's go ahead and close the hinges back. Okay. Alright, so yeah, whatever they broke, it's making the hinge not easy to turn. I don't know if that's gonna be, I don't know. I feel like that's gonna be an issue. Anyways, let's go ahead and get these screws back in. Okay. I'm gonna actually put a little thread locker here just to make sure it holds well. They did have some blue stuff, but you saw the screws are loose. So we're gonna actually put a little of this red thread locker, which holds a bit better, but usually on laptops, because the screws are so small, it's not going to be permanent. Some people are like, don't use the red stuff, that's like permanent. But no, it's not. Okay, so we'll get this back in. Also, why would you want this screw to come out on its own? So we'll just tighten that down real good. A little here as well. And we'll tighten that down real good as well. Okay, make sure those screws don't come back out. Alright, so what do we got now? Oh, let me show you the charge port. You see that? So they dropped it, they said, on the charge port. And look, it actually broke the plastic and shoved the entire middle pin into the thing, so this broke off. Technically, you probably could push that back into place and then put some glue all behind it, but yeah, I didn't trust glue to hold that, so we're gonna get rid of that piece. Let's go ahead now and put the motherboard, logic board, whatever you want to call it, back into place. Okay, so this goes under here. There's a lot of wires, so you got to make sure that those all end up back on top. This does need to kind of go in at this angle, again, because of this little clip here. So we're going to first line everything up, make sure all the cables end up back on top. Okay, the difficult part will be the wireless antenna and stuff here. Okay, but yeah, all right, let's get that lined up first down here. Okay, and then hopefully we can go ahead and get all these in. The tricky part is all these ports over here. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. It doesn't seem to want to go down. Is it hitting something? What am I hitting here? The antennas? Is that what's stopping it? Okay, so we gotta make sure these go in. Oh man, they also bent this. Just noticed that. The USB port's kind of bent inwards. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so slowly lower this down and hopefully make sure all these cables are out of the way. Okay, this one is the one having a hard time. And the charge port, there we go. Make sure everything is lined up. There's the little raised plastic mount here. Make sure that goes on properly. Sorry if I'm too far zoomed out. Okay, let's go ahead and put the screws back in. So we have this one here. Sorry, that one there. Again, they do have arrows pointing to it. This one here. And the last one down here. Okay, and again, you want to make sure that the headphone jack, you can see how it's protruding out slightly into the case. That's what you want. Okay, and this piece is broken, so you can't really do anything about that. All right, let's go ahead and get all these connectors back in. This design's not very good. All right, we got the speaker connection here. Line it up, pinch the two together, just like that. We can also put back the hard drive, 2.5-inch SATA hard drive SSD box. Get that in there. It doesn't have to slide in, it just drops into place. Okay, that in, this in, and this one. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and get the keyboard connector. Should I zoom in more? Okay, so keyboard connector, make sure the latch is up, get that in. All right, you might have to try and grab the little blue tab here, but this scares me because of the weird angle it's trying to go in, but there we go. Okay, you can see how the wings go in further, and then you can see the white portion above or behind. All right, keyboard backlight connector, get that in, use the little solid brown tab to help push it in. All right, and I'm gonna put this one on top. I don't know if it was on top or underneath before, it doesn't really matter. Okay, touchpad, trackpad connector here. Come on, get back in there. There we go, get that in, flip that latch down, and now the fingerprint reader, get that in, flip that latch down. All right, we got the connector over here for the USB port, power button, one key recovery button. Flip that latch down if you're wondering what those are. All right, this is the USB SD card slot. There's the one key recovery. You use a little pin, you can press that, and then the power button. Sometimes if the power button's broken, you can actually turn it on using that one key recovery button instead. Okay, we're gonna now zoom out and get the fan in. Make sure you slide the plastic underneath the heatsink. You might have to pull the heatsink up very slightly. Don't lift it too high. You don't want to bend this tube, okay? So you can see it holds itself into place. Get that screw in and this screw. And then hold the heatsink, or sorry, hold the fan up against the heatsink. Push it up that direction. Then go ahead and tighten that down. There we go. And we got the LCD LVDS connector. Line that up. Push that. Click that into place. Okay. Route that. Put that back over there. Route that in. Perfect. The fan connector, super tiny. Okay. Line that up. And then push that down. Right. And what else? We got the wireless antennas here. Okay. And line this up. Make sure not to push down unless it's lined up. You know it's lined up because it'll catch, it'll hook on there. Come on. Okay, meow. Oh, there we go. Okay, click that down. Then we got the white antenna, same thing. Click that down, perfect. Oh, give me a second. All right, I'm back. So this cable's really long. So we're gonna have to, oops, sorry, I can't even see what I'm doing. So the charge port cable is really long, so you kind of have to like coil it all around like this to be able to get it in. Kind of a weird design, but it is what it is. Okay, so we'll do that. Line that up, pinch that in. Okay, now you have this whole twisted blob of cable here. I don't know why they made it so long. Maybe to be compatible with other models, they just use the same design. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and get the battery back in, plug this thing in, and we should be good to go. All right, so this has a little foot that you need to slide into place here, so it slides in there, and then this lowers back down. The battery connector, you can see they put a dot on top so you know which way to put it, but you can also see the pins here. Those go face down. Okay, so we're gonna put the screws for the battery back in. I'm gonna also put some red thread locker on the other hinge screws because those were coming loose as well. And these designs scare me because the hinge isn't very, it's not designed very well. Like, they should spread the screws out further like this so there's more leverage. They put them side by side. That's not a very good design. It's like they purposely designed it to break, which is probably what's going on here. Anyways, we want these hinge screws to stay down tight. We don't want them to wiggle. So there we go. And last, we'll get this one in. Okay, so there we go. All those screws in. All right, so now that we got everything into place, we just got to get the bottom cover back on, get the bottom screws in, and we should be good to go. We're gonna go ahead and put this back into place. The magnets kind of hold it. We're gonna put the top back in first because that's how it was originally. And oh shoot, you see this plastic piece? It's hitting the cable here, so you want to make sure to push that out of the way. So when you close it, it closes and doesn't clamp that wire. Okay, now just get everything snapped back in. I'm gonna plug this guy back in so it can make sure to be charging, and then we'll go ahead and get all these screws back on. Okay, again, if this video helped you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Wait, the orange light's not coming on. I need to make sure it's gonna work. I tested it beforehand. Is it because we unplugged the battery first? Let's open this back up. Wow, that hinge is really strong. Okay, and then let's power it on. And it is powering on. Why is the charge light not blinking anymore? The computer's obviously getting power. Wait, did I not plug the battery in? I think I didn't plug the battery back in. I got ahead of myself. All right, let's make sure to plug the battery back in. That's an important step if you want the battery to charge. I mean, that definitely shows that the charge port is working fine, so that's a good thing. But we definitely want to make sure that the charger's working. Okay, so unplug that. We're gonna go ahead and pop this back off. Come on. Oh wait, that was the part that's difficult. So let's go around the sides first. Okay, go around the front. Go around the side here. Come on. Okay. And we'll go over here, pull that back. Maybe wiggle it a bit. Come on. Why is it being so difficult now? There we go. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to plug in the battery. Okay, I was like, why isn't it charging? All right, that makes a lot of sense. Get this lined up. Make sure this goes in straight when you pull it, like that. Pinch the whole thing together. I'm gonna turn it so it's easier to pinch. There we go. Make sure that's plugged in all the way. And now let's plug it back in and then continue getting the bottom cover back on. Yeah, the orange light's blinking now. Okay. That scared me. I was like, oh no, don't tell me because I closed this thing on top or the little twist. You see how it keeps wanting to go on top? Okay. There we go. Get all the things back together. We'll get all the screws back in, and again, that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Again, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, I do have another channel called It's Been Reviewed and More. If you want to help out even more, you can subscribe to that channel. Or if you just like my review videos, yeah, that'll be very helpful. Same profile picture, but zoomed in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to get the rest of the screws in. And yeah, you already saw it turned on. But we're good to go. Alright, let's get the last few screws in, and that's it. Okay. Alright, and there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, and just because somebody's probably gonna go, you didn't show it turning on. How do we know it still works? Let me turn it on one more time. Okay, you can see the keyboard's on, and there's the Lenovo. Alright, and there you go. You can see it's showing the battery charging now. Alright, thanks again, and I'll see you all in in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.